Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your master of magical and mystical martial arts. It is Saturday, and I'm a little loud because I'm a little awesome. And that means it is Shaolin Saturday, and we're going to talk about probably my third favorite Lau Kar-long movie. I think it does edge out Instructor, or the one we reviewed last time, Instructors of Death. No, yeah. Well, actually, that's what this is called, Instructors of Death. It does not edge out its own movie. Challenge of the Masters. I think it's a slightly better movie because it's funnier. Challenge of the Masters, pretty straightforward. This one is another story of Wang Fei-hung as a young man, but technically it could be considered a sequel from the first one, from Challenge of the Masters. It is from 1981. This doesn't tell me when it was released or anything. Thanks a lot for nothing, Wikipedia. It is called Martial Club. That's the original title right there. And before we get too much further in there, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and hit the subscription bell if you want to be notified of new content every day. And if you'd like to, we'd really appreciate it if you watched for a few minutes longer. So we'll get right into this. All right, this movie is from 1981. It runs about 104 minutes. It's a long movie, but it's quite good. Lots of fights, almost too many uh, overall. Wikipedia is just useless at this point in time. See if I can find this on IMDb. Be that as it may, yeah, there it is. So it starts out with lion dancing, which hit or miss with, but it does star Gordon Lau and Wang Wei. Pardon me, that's Kara Hu, as she's known, Kara Hung Wei, and let's see. Oh, also it's Wang Lung-wei, Johnny Wang Lung-wei, Ma Fuyi himself is in this movie, and bunches of other people, including Ku Feng as Wang Qiying, and then Xiao Ho as Mai Chen Hu. So, but we go through this. It's one more. Two martial clubs don't like each other. Well, actually, there's three, but two of them are friends, and one of them doesn't like each other. We'll find out. Lau Kar-long and Xiao Ho did the fighting choreography, and there's a lot of it. Like I said, it's almost like, and of course, Lau Kar-long is the instructor. The humor here is a lot more gentle than it has been. Some of this, I listened to the English subtitle. It came from the Tokyo Shock DVD that was released several years ago, and it's a good picture. I think there's one of our villains. And let's get on. So, of course, there's a big fight here with the lion dancing. It goes on about what you shouldn't do because there's rules, and etc. and so on. And that's the crux of the whole. That's the MacGuffin there. It's just this is how it should be, and one kung fu school doesn't do things properly, and then that sets everything off, and we go from there. Wow, IMDb is not much more helpful here. So let me just go back and be that as it may. And that there's a big fight that starts. It's like the vying for firecrackers. Very popular thing, but this is just vying for lion dancing prizes. They all meet to discuss their problems, which is what they should do, but yet again, that rarely happens. That never ends properly because somebody's injured. Fei-hung gets dressed down by Qiying, his father, as it happens in every young Fei-hung movie, from Challenge of the Masters to Drunken Master. But this time, this was a response. Obviously, it's there's more comedy here, and it's actually most of it's quite funny. These two are best friends. I think that Hao Shu is Mai Chen Ho, and they're going around and they're pretending they're masters now. because they fight each other. They're trying to figure out who has the best kung fu, but they don't want to get hurt. And they're like, let's find other people we can beat up instead of each other so we don't get hurt. And there's lots of hungar going on here. And then there is Kara as his sister, and they spar with each other quite a bit. Kara Ying-hung-wei was a dancer. She stepped in for My Young Andy, a movie I like adequately, and took over. And she did, and very acrobatic, very athletic, and could do pretty much anything that the Lau brothers wanted her to do. So they're beat up these two guys, and they're going to beat them after the 6 punch. Each of them do 6, and they have to pay them the other $1. So now each guy has $2, and then they faint. But they're pretending to be masters, and anyone who's a martial artist knows this is not a thing you should ever do, ever do. I can't emphasize that enough. And it gets them in trouble because here's another master, and they're like, "Uh-oh, we've kind of stuck our feet in it." But he sends 2 of his students out, and then he just beats the crap out of both of them. They're crying. They're wearing these heavy metal gauntlets, and and I say heavy metal as in the music, not that they're actually heavy metal. And he just humbles them. And of course, Qi Ying throws him around. There's a lot of throws in here, and I don't know exactly. That's just brave. I don't know if that's a stunt double for Gordon, because I'm sure they didn't want him accidentally landing on his head. And both of them. And now Master Shan shows up, which is, of course, Ma Fuyi himself, Johnny Wang Lung-wei, and he is from the north. So in the English dub, you can't really tell that they don't understand each other too much, because he's speaking Mandarin and they're speaking Cantonese. They do have all 3 tracks here, English, Cantonese, and Mandarin on here. Yeah. But in the English dub, you just can't tell. And, an English audience wouldn't even know what the problem was. They'd just be like, why are they going through all this? But he likes his watermelon. And so, of course, Kara, as Chu Ying, gives him $1 to fight her brother. But he doesn't understand why. He's like, I'll take $1, okay. And he beats up him, uses a southern eagle claw, because the northern eagle claw is all 5 fingers, whereas the southern is just 3. But again, a lot of people wouldn't know that, even in probably Hong Kong where this movie was shot. But he injures his vocal cords. Gordon shows up. Fei-hung says, "You're not good enough," but he can't tell him. And of course, Chu Ying shows up. There's a misunderstanding, and she tries to beat him up. She's like, "You're using your tiger claw." And her dad's like, "Why are there only 3 scars here on his neck? If tiger claw would have 5. And she's like, So, they figured out, well. Meanwhile, Master Shan goes to the evil, or the lesser, Kung Fu studio, and just wanders in there and tries to take over their lion dancing, but they can't understand him, so he throws them off. Finally, they're like, "No, this is a friend of mine. I met him in the north. He's here to observe." And I don't know how many times that Johnny Wang Lung-wei, Johnny Wang, actually portrayed a good guy. This is one of them. So, of course, Chu Ying marches over to the Fei-hung studio, the Wang's studio, and gets into a fight. And she's just really good. I mean, really good. I mean, I love my Shu Zi and Lily Lee, but she's better than them because she just did what she needed to do. Now, she's got really high kicks. You can tell she's not a trained martial artist if you know what to look for. But her stances aren't. Well, anyway. So he's recovered enough to tell Wang Qiying and his father that no, it wasn't Fei-hung that did it. And they go back. She's now fighting the triple irons with her broadsword, or the 3-sectional staff. There's a lot of mass fights in this movie, at least 3. I would say 3 exactly. She says, and they're like, "Who's responsible for this?" everyone's pointing at each other, but she's like, it wasn't him. Oh, but does she admit she's wrong? No, she's a little headstrong. So these two miscreants are watching Master Shan do his mantis style, a northern style. I want to say mantis is Chow Gar. Blake will correct me. Once again, get his book. It's amazing. And I'm sorry I don't have any video or audio here. It's just there's not an English trailer for this movie. Fei-hung is practicing his stance work, and they go through that. And his dad challenges him, but he beats his dad, so his dad's kind of happy about it. Ku Feng was in a lot of other movies, just in many from the '60s onward. So he's a little older than Gordon here and now. But I'm looking to see if we haven't reviewed any of these. I've seen the Shadow Whip many years ago, Diddly Duo, Water Margin, uh, the Flying Guillotine, not the good Flying Guillotine. All Men Are Brothers, Shaolin Temple. He's in that. Mighty Peking Man of all things. How about that? So he's been around. He was in a lot of movies. Jeez, I didn't realize Avenging Eagle was 78. Anyway, so he's happy that his son is getting now. Oops, let me go back here. Mai Chen Ho is using his strength, but he has been showing off at the brothel because he's not the most serious martial artist. But he gets tricked. They tie him up with ox tendon, and he gets the crap beat out of him by the bad team and thrown around a bit. See, I told you. And gets injured, but he puts up a good fight. And I mean, considering his hands are bound, they throw him into the water, and he shows up at his school. His dad wants to know what happened. He's like, I'm not telling you. But obviously he's injured, but his dad locks him up. So Chu Ying goes over and wants to know what happened from Fei-hung, who doesn't know, and he goes off and he's like, I don't know what happened. So they go and visit, and Fei-hung tricks him into admitting what's going on or what happened to him. I just love that she just laughs. She just is annoyed by her brother. And off they go. And they just wanted to find out what happened. So Fei-hung by now is less impetuous. He's more diplomatic. He still can lose his temper and has to control her because she's fiery. But yet again, I guess there's 4 mass fights. So he fights a bunch of people. She uses her staff, the spear, which is the red tassel spear. Really, I mean, just does whatever is asked of her. And he's flirting with her, and he's kind of a wanker. And finally, they're like, all right. But Master Shan says, you can't fight all of you can't fight her at once, or all just the 2 of them. That's not fair. So he's got a sense of honor now, which makes, them, they can't do it because, and she fights him, but, she's not strong enough, though he's met her already because she gave him the $1. And he tells her, you're quite strong. And he's like, well, who's your father? Who's your teacher? Fei-hung. So they're like, all right, well, let's settle this amicably because we can't beat him up while you're here. The fathers show up, and they're like, well, we can't come in. And then so they all go. And he wants to know, Master Shan wants to know the son, why he's not practicing. And he's a big baby. So off they go. They've been invited to go to the Peking Opera. So it's lots of loud noises. This is very much a Chinese thing that I don't get, but I'd go if I could, just to see it. But it's a trick, of course. One of the, problems with many of these movies is the heroes have to be naive and believe the best of anyone and fall for their traps. Now, you'd think that they would at least have some plan in mind in case they got double-crossed, but no. So guess what happens? They go, they want to see their tickets, and they're like, we don't have tickets. The guy said we could come in. Nope. So a fight breaks out, and it breaks out, and it breaks out. And there's this, and punk, and it breaks out. I mean, there's a lot of fighting with little. I think the difference between Chang Che and Lau Kar-lung is that he would not always know when to break up the fight scene. He would just let it go because that was his thing. This is a movie about kung fu. It's a good movie. I would say, a great movie about kung fu because it does demonstrate it. But there's a lot of fighting and too much fighting. As much as I used to want to think, like with Godzilla movies, I want to see lots of monsters fighting. No, you want to see the correct amount of fighting spiced in and have some, break away so you get a breather. And they don't do this in this scene. It just goes on. And it's a wonderful fight scene, but it goes on. Finally, Master Shan shows up. Dinkwad has been hurt. He's like, well, you should fight them. And he's like, I'm not fighting them. That's not, it's a whole bunch of you and not any of them. Finally, the police show up and they're like, we were invited, but they have no proof. Ki Ying says, I'll pay for everything. And you know that Fei-hung's going to pay for that. And then this dink says, what about this? And he's like, shut up. You're pushing your luck. We know you're not as honorable as you pretend to be. So Master Shan is just sitting there wondering what's going on. And we're getting to the so he goes over and helps mediate, and they apologize to each other. They have to go get some tribute. And it's these two, and her father has said, do not, or you have to do what Fei-hung tells you to do. Do not fly off the handle. And she's ready to. So they do some stance training here with fabric and not tearing it up. And they're like, it's really well done. Now, Johnny Wang I don't believe he was a trained martial artist. I don't know. See, Blake, you're going to have to tell me yet again. He's so good. And it's so nice to see him be in a sympathetic and heroic role that he's not out to kill anybody. He wants to be friends and learn kung fu, which is what you should be doing. So stance training's wonderful, and he's really happy. He's like, okay, here's your tribute. And now they've got to get the rice out. So once again, Master Shan punches through it, or kicks through it, and Fei-hung punches through it, or uses it's not a tiger claw. And then he has to carry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bags out. And he does. And he's like, good kung fu. You hear that a lot in this movie from him. And he's still crippled, so he can't fight. And they're like, all right, we're going to go. Thank you. And he says, you go home, because he knows what's going to happen. Master Shan and Fei-hung are going to have one of the most... Now, this fight is good. It is good. You can read about it in Blake's book, all about the style. I can't recommend it enough, again. And not just because I know the guy that wrote the foreword, but just the fact that they did this. It's just Lau Kar-leung's visions, the way he shoots things. He always had innovative ways of doing it. And they fight in an alley that gets smaller. You see them he's got his eagle claw and he's using his cranes, the stork style. Then he switches to snake, and we have the snake versus the mantis. Leopards, I don't know exactly what the northern style would be. Dragon, and then we've already seen the tiger claw. They're just so athletic, and they fight and fight. There's the wire fist. It's also got a different name that is credited to Wang Fei-hung himself historically as inventing. And just, it does, you can tell if you're looking, it's styrofoam, but it's okay. And they're just, very happy. I think they're having fun. They're not trying to kill each other. They're just sparring and seeing, who's going to come out on top. That one is for Lilith. She knows why. And then that's it. He's like there, and he's holding himself up there. Now, I don't see a wire on him. There might be, but I'm sure he was strong enough to do it anyway. And then he walks off, and he's trying to learn the iron wire. And he's like, and all three fathers show up there, and he's like, Fei-hung will lead, Ki Ying, you'll lead the first 5 tigers of Kwantung, and Fei-hung will lead the second 5 tigers, 10 tigers of Kwantung. We will review that movie, even though that's a rough one because it's all done in flashback and can be I'll have to watch that one. Maybe we'll do that next week. And that's it. This movie's long, and I did kind of rush through it because I'm late tonight, and I'm tired, and I'm a little awesome. So I really like this movie a lot. I would place it number 3 before Challenge of the Masters, but after Heroes of the East and 36 Chamber as 1 and 2, if not tied at 1. Just so I really like these. Now, I have enjoyed other Lau Kar-leung movies, but not as much as these 4. Don't even get me started on Executioners of Shaolin. So, my fellow agents, that is your final episode, or final. We're done here. And until our next assignment, keep that 3-sectional staff handy. You'll never know when you need it. This is X7 signing off.
Good.